Hello, and welcome to Moving Forward Together with Equal Justice Needham. I'm the show host, Massiel Gallardo. Today, our show looks at question 4 on the Massachusetts ballot. This past June, the Massachusetts legislature passed the Work and Family Mobility Act that ensures that all qualified state residents, regardless of immigration status, can apply for a standard Massachusetts driver's license starting on July 1st of this year. Massachusetts became the 17th state to pass such law, joining New York, Connecticut, Rhode Island, and Vermont. The Work and Family Mobility Act became law after overcoming a veto by Governor Baker. Immediately, opponents of the law began a campaign to overturn the new law through a ballot question in the upcoming November 8 elections. A yes vote on question 4 on the ballot keeps the Work and Family Mobility Act in place. The League of Women Voters of Massachusetts endorses a yes vote to ballot question 4 in support of keeping the Work and Family Mobility Act. We are fortunate to have with us today Jennifer Muroff, Legislative Specialist on Immigration for the League of Women Voters of Massachusetts. Welcome, Jennifer.
Thank you so much for having me. It's a pleasure to be here.
Likewise, Jennifer. The League of Women Voters of Massachusetts and over 60 law enforcement officials statewide endorsed a yes vote on question 4 because when all drivers are tested, licensed, and insured, everyone is safer on the roads. Is that right?
Absolutely. And we do have the data to prove it. So thanks so much for having me. Again, my name is Jen Muroff with the League of Women Voters of Massachusetts. And the League is a nonpartisan political organization in that we don't endorse political parties or candidates, but we do take positions on issues. And we have been a human rights organization for more than 100 years. The League of Massachusetts has supported the Work and Family Mobility Act since 2019. We took that official position and we voted on our position to ensure that everyone, regardless of status, has access to mobility. Mobility is a fundamental human right. And so we do support that.
Thank you for that introduction, Jen. And so we are supporting this question 4 on the ballot, yes on 4 for safer roads. What are some of the reasons why this law will make or will help make keep the roads safer?
Yes, so when every driver is tested with a Massachusetts driver's test, they receive their license, they're insured, they have a registered vehicle. It just means that every driver on the road is following the same rules of the road. Folks are here and driving, so why don't we make sure that everyone is tested with the same level of testing?
That's right. And, I'm an insurance consultant by trade, and we talked about safety, but let's talk about revenue. We mentioned when all drivers are tested, licensed, insured, everyone is safer on the roads. Mm-hmm. But
Absolutely.
how much revenue with voting yes on question 4 is projected to generate in Massachusetts? Can you give us a little bit more insight?
Oh, sure. It's expected to generate $5 million in taxes and $6 million in fees, inspections, and other services within the first 3 years. So not only are insurance executives on board, we have statewide across the Commonwealth, Berkshires to Cape Cod and the Islands, sheriffs, DAs, city police chiefs, everyone is in agreement. Mass Public Health Association, everyone is in agreement that this is beneficial for all residents of the Commonwealth.
We talked about safety and revenue and how the Work and Family Mobility Act, or question 4 on the ballot, is yes for safer roads. But when it comes to voter registration, and I think that's a concern, especially for those opposing this law, what can you tell us about how this law interacts with voter registration?
Absolutely. So opponents argue that there will be voter fraud if everyone is issued a license. However, in Massachusetts, thousands upon thousands of people with green cards, those under 18, those with TPS status, already received driver's licenses, and there is absolutely zero voter fraud in Massachusetts, according to Secretary of State William Galvin. It is completely debunked on every level, local, state, national. There are already safeguards in place. And in the other states, 16, 17 other states that already have passed this law and put it into place, we know that voter fraud does not exist. There are already safety barriers in place for any type of voter fraud.
Okay. And so for the opposition, for those members, especially on the Republican side, who are opposing to keep this law in place, and a lot of their conversation focuses on xenophobia, fear of undocumented immigrants having access to a driver's license. What can we say about that? How can we debunk or focus on the benefits of keeping this law to keep our roads safer?
Great, that's an excellent question. So what we really want to focus on, this is a public safety measure, and across the spectrum in every industry, folks know this will make us safer. We know that hit and run accidents have decreased in California. We have the data on that once implemented. And let's stay focused on road safety. And we're happy to debate immigration policy at the federal level. But folks who are our neighbors, our friends, our coworkers, our colleagues may have mixed status families, and we're not focused on that here because everyone has a right to mobility and move freely. Everyone has to get to work. Everyone has to bring their kids to doctor's appointments. They have to bring themselves to doctor's appointments, especially during a global pandemic. We saw how dangerous this was. Public transportation was not an option. Everyone is driving. Massachusetts, unfortunately to some folks, Massachusetts is a state where we use our cars. So you need a car for family mobility. That's why this is called the Work and Family Mobility Act. Everyone has to get to work, medical appointments, and now everyone can do so legally in Massachusetts. We need a yes vote to make sure this happens.
Absolutely, and it's worth the reminder that over 60 law enforcement officials statewide are in support of keeping this law active and in the books. Well, before we go, what calls to action can viewers follow to learn more about the Work and Family Mobility Act and to help amplify a yes vote on question 4 on the ballot?
Excellent question. So you can visit saferroadsma.com to get involved. They have canvassing opportunities, phone banking opportunities, but please just take a moment to understand that we want to make sure every voter knows. Turn your ballot over. All the ballot questions are on the second side of the ballot. In addition, the question is not in the red book for voters that the Secretary of State's office mails home, but you can find it on the Secretary of State's website. So please, please, please tell everyone you know when you're voting early in town on October 22nd, please make sure to turn that ballot over to the second side and tell everyone you know. Visit saferroads.com and you can please amplify their social media message. Follow the League of Women Voters of Massachusetts as well to just spread the word to as many voters as you know.
Thank you, Jennifer. And thank you so much for coming on the show today. Happy to have you and happy to count with the support of the League of Women's Voters in Massachusetts. Thank you. Viewers, if you are eligible to vote, please do not forget to vote this November 8th. And also remember to turn the ballot. The questions are on the back of the ballot, the second side of the ballot. And a yes for question 4 will help keep our roads safer. Please take a moment to fill out a poll on the EJN website about what we covered today. If you have any comments or suggestions, you can get in touch at thishappenshereneedham@gmail.com. We'd love to hear from you. Thank you for being here. Until next time.